Now in this section I'm going to take a closer look at the Google algorithm and the changes that have taken place over the last few years. So the first thing, what is the Google algorithm? Well, to rank pages within your website against pages on other websites, Google uses what is called its Google algorithm. Now the original Google algorithm was developed by I think Larry Page, and it was to do with PageRank, and at the time that was quite revolutionary. Prior to that, search engines like Alta Vista would simply look at words that have been stuffed onto a web page. They look at your title, your description, and something called the keyword meta tags, which have been totally abused over the years, so much so that Google doesn't actually use them now. So in the old days it was much easier to kind of spam your way to the top. So the algorithm has developed, it's got more sophisticated, and as I've mentioned before, the whole point of the algorithm is it's trying to detect low quality spammy websites and basically demote those and promote websites that basically adhere to the Google Webmaster Guidelines. So in total there's probably about 200 factors that Google takes into account, and it's important to realize that some of those factors have an enormous effect. So something I'll mention numerous times in this course is the importance of the title, which is the single most important on-site SEO factor there is. So the title has an enormous SEO value. If you get the title right and stuff up just about everything else, you're still in the game. If you stuff up the title, then that's really kind of crippled your website in terms of how it's going to show up in the search engine. If you can get the title right plus all the other 200 factors, then you're definitely on the right lines to turning up on the first page. So as I say, there's 200 factors to go into the mix, and the better that a particular page scores with the algorithm compared to other pages out there, the more likely you're going to be ranked higher than other website results. In addition to things that Google likes, which are mentioned, as I say, in the Google Webmaster Guidelines, there's a whole load of things that Google really doesn't like, which basically amounts to sort of spamming attempts. Now, if you do try these things, I've mentioned them for black hat techniques, they're going to harm you. So, stick to the rules, as I've said a number of times now. Now there was another algorithm update called the Google Panda. Every single day the algorithm changes in a small way. Google try things out, and every so often they lump a whole load of changes together and release the changes, and quite often they give it a name. So this Google Panda update was a whole load of things, and it's estimated that it affected around about 35% of all web pages worldwide. Now the basic idea behind the Google Panda algorithm was to try and get rid of the low quality pages that were showing up in the search results and to improve, the quality of the Google results. The trouble was lots and lots of websites have been produced with ultra low quality. They've been absolutely spammed, they're full of spam and dodgy SEO techniques, and the whole point was to get them displayed in the search engine results. People would click on them, and then people would display pay-per-click advertising within the pages and try and make money out of these cheap and horrible websites. And as I say, Panda really was an attempt to get rid of as many of these as possible from the search results. As you can see in the last bullet point there, a lot of web designers were very upset about Panda when it came out, which is good news for the rest of us who are actually playing by the rules, because the more the low quality sites can be weeded out, the better the good quality sites are going to show up. Now Google is on record as saying they wish to promote good quality content websites. That's really what you should concentrate on. Google really regard content as king. So the better the content, the less likely you are to be affected by any of these algorithm updates. The other thing was that Google Panda didn't just affect single pages, it affected an entire site. And Google has stated it'll only take a few poor quality pages or duplicate content to affect a site. And they basically recommend that poor quality pages be removed or blocked from being indexed, which is another way of avoiding being penalized by Google. However, if you do any rewriting, you must make sure that you actually add value to the original content. Google Penguin, that was another famous update, came back, originally back in April 2012, and it impacted a lot of search engine results. Again, it was really aimed at people who were trying to spam the system and weren't abiding by the Google Webmaster Guidelines. In this case, it affected initially about 3% of all search queries made in English. Right, the page layout algorithm update. This is yet another one, originally released in 2012, and this was really aimed at websites that had too many advertisements on the page, what were called top-heavy adverts. So the phrase above the fold, what that really means is that lots and lots of adverts were displayed towards the top of the page, and if that was combined with sort of thin content, then that's really what this algorithm was trying to get at. Hummingbird was yet another algorithm update. It was introduced back in 2013, and the idea with Hummingbird, it allows Google to more accurately determine what people are searching for using context and synonyms. The idea was that they were looking for web pages that provide the answer to questions, not just simply a whole load of facts that have been sort of typed out onto the page. The other thing that Hummingbird was looking for was basically content that was more natural sounding, using sort of normal English. Again, when we look at content writing, it's very important that you write good content. You don't have to be Shakespeare, you just have to make sure that when you read through your content, it sounds and reads well, so that it doesn't look like it's just being sort of dashed out by someone who's tried to cram as many keywords into a shorter sentence as possible, which doesn't really help you these days. The other effect of Hummingbird is it may cause more relevant pages on your website to be displayed in search results rather than just your home page. Or to put it another way, that means you should concentrate on really cleaning up every single page on your website, not just simply the home page. A lot of people with SEO, they just sort of concentrate on the home page and they give that a lot of effort, and then with the other pages, not so much. But again, it is making the point that every single page on your website, get it, for every page, get it absolutely right in terms of SEO if possible.